the tree was trying to grow up and then it got killed by lightning or something. Hi, I'm miltonchang of Bonsaiheirloom. I'll work on this prostrata juniper, which I believe I took cutting about 15 years ago, a straight cutting, and I put in the ground. And I will work on this tree today to make it a informal upright or upright. That will become part of my big forest. Someday I'd like to create a forest about 12 trees of that size. So let me take this tree out of the pot to show you how I begin the process. So this tree I planted in the ground for about 15 years and then dug it out and put it in this pot maybe a year ago. And so that's the process. You want a tree to grow fast in the ground and then you put it in a pot to make it into a more civilized design. So that otherwise it's very unwieldy. You can see I put this in the bottom of the pot and then put the dug up tree on top. And you can see very distinctively it grew into the bottom, tremendous amount of root. So that was about a year ago. So juniper grows relatively quickly. I really don't need to disturb the roots in the bottom, but I like to get rid of the roots near the top so I can decide what to do with the design, because the root on the surface is actually a very much integral part of the design of the tree, because when it's in a bonsai pot, that's the focal point of your tree. I have to comb off all these on the top to expose the surface root where the top of the bonsai will become. Always begin with the roots, because there's not much you can do afterwards. Where's the top you can change. You see, when I cut off the roots, I cut it here, it all calloused. I bet you if I put some root tone around here, this will all root out. Bonsai is a very vigorous tree. It will root everywhere. You give it a chance when it touches the ground, touches the soil, that is. So the roots are relatively radially out, so it's good, not too bad. But you can see that's a root, big root, and someday that will become thicker, and that will be part of the design. You can see this is a big tap, that big root coming out. So that's about as far down I can go. And then this is kind of a deadwood. So I can make it white someday, and that become an interesting feature, so-called shari. And then this root comes down here someplace. I hope this is radially out someplace, so they would like a tree coming out with the roots here. But I need to work on that the next time maybe, or later on. So now that I got the root, decided this is going to be the top, and maybe even get rid of this branch. Yeah, I'll probably get rid of this branch, because then this root looks more natural going down, and then this looks more natural going out this way. Yeah, so in fact, let me just cut it. So it doesn't look funny, and hopefully encourage the roots here to grow out this way, to make it more radially grasping. This tree. So for example, this tree, I may very well scar it here to encourage this root to grow, so that the root will be going like this instead of going that way. So maybe what I'll do is I do this, make that into a bit of a dead shari. Hoping this root will come out this way and then start growing this way to to give the idea of radiating out. Well, there's not much I can do about the roots right now. And what I will do is I'll wait until next time and comb out a little bit more roots to see where the roots are going in terms of grasping the earth. So this tree, in some sense, it started off a little slanted. This one is pointing up, but there's no branches here for me to create an apex. So I think the apex has to be here. And see what I do to this branch. I make this one the apex. So this tree will be coming out like this, and it grow up. I cut off this here to make this the apex. And then in order not to get confused, I'll cut this off. Ah, actually, I will make this the apex. So this the apex. I want everything to be lower than that. So I would do my best to make this going down. And after I clean off all the redundant branch, I can decide then on what to do with the bigger branches like this one. What do I do with it? So I'm going to clean off as much as the smaller branches possible because the cut and grow method basically says I want to cut it back to the core of the design, which is the big branches, and then decide what to do with the rest of it and let the small branches grow out again. You try to look for little interesting curves on the branches and all that to create a little vignette that catches the eye to say, whoa, and wow about this. And that makes that's what makes the trees attractive. I don't really know what I'm doing yet until I can see clearly what I need to do with this by cutting off all the redundant branches. So I'm just cleaning off the redundant branches so I can see where I'm going with it and then start to capitalize on the outline of the tree of what is remaining. So far what I've done is to clean off all the long branches like this would never be used and then get it back to the basic big branches which would shape the design of the look of the tree. So right now I have two options. One is that this is going to be part of a group of a tree, so it should be really more of an upright. So I chose to keep this or this the apex, and I can cut off some and grow these determined later. So this will be one tree, and then this the lower branch, the lower branch, lower branch. And then this one can make into a jin as a dramatic thing. The tree was trying to grow up and then it got killed by lightning or something. That's my story. So you can see this tree will be coming up like this, and then these are the bottom branches. And I may even crack these to give it more of a bend. In fact, this one also should be dead because this is kind of under the crouch. It will not grow well, whereas you have a branch behind. So I think this tree will be quite dramatic after I'm done with it. So the idea is that you don't want these long branches there because it obscures the view. After you clean it all off, it became quite obvious what you want to do with it. And just remember, a little branch like this will get to about this thick in a year. So this branch will be about this thick for the apex, which is not too bad to rhyme with this piece. So I'll actually make this part and this part into chin because there's plenty below. And in fact, I will probably let this one grow out to be the green part a little bit. But this one is way too dominant. So with that in mind, then I'll start to make these into chins. I want to do it when it's wet so that peeling the bark is easy. I just go everywhere and then use a knife to peel it, to loosen the bark first. And then this one, you can see this one's going to be really easy. So this branch is kind of a wimpy, kind of curving up. You want this tree to be down because as the tree gets heavy, as it gets older, it gets heavy, and it should be pointing down instead of pointing up. So what you do is you can take a tie wire. I prefer a tie wire, kind of depicts the idea of a drooping tree, and I will pull it down some. This is not very good because ideally you want something to come from this side, but right now I don't have any branch on that side, so I just use this branch, which is not very good, but it does some of the bending down. And someday I'll come here and just kind of twist it to beyond its yield point, so then it will stay put. Hopefully don't break it. So you see, I don't even need a guide wire. I just bend it by just short of breaking it by making it go in the right angle. Junipers are reasonably resilient, so, and then this one, it's kind of a pointless. So I make that into a chin because that one can fill out this hole here. This branch can fill out this hole. So I make this one into a gin. You see, to give it a little feature, because old trees always have gin to as the branch breaks off, and that gives you the feeling of an old age or rough weather and old age. Yeah, I should have watered this tree a little bit more before I do the wiring. Then the bark would be a lot easier to come off. Like right now, it's still not too much moisture, so it's sticking to the wood instead of just coming off like a whole bark. So now you begin to see, like this branch is pointing up, I wish it's coming down. So I just break it. Yeah, you can see this branch is coming up, which is not too bad. When this go up, it's not too bad. I'll leave it alone. But otherwise, what I'll do is I'll try to bend it down, just short of breaking it or even breaking it. You see, if I do this, if I hold it a while, you can see it's coming down, see? Instead of what's up, it's now down a little. Like this part's breaking, but that's okay. Yeah, so the wiring, I just basically tie a wire to the dead part of the branch so it doesn't cut into the bark, and then pull it down by bending it almost to the point of breaking, and then tie the wire so that it will stay put. And then I put another wire here to push this one down so that it's all like this, like, drooping due to the age. And I'll do that to the same to this one. You can see this is kind of going up. That doesn't look very nice. So I will do this. You can see now it looks a lot more natural. And I can even put a eye bolt and tie the tie wire here to bring this one down to make it more of a aged look. It's not great yet. This is only after the first cut. So let me recap a little bit. Come to think about it, you can see this is a branch fairly thick. I suspect that's part of a big juniper, the 25-year-old junipers I grew. And one piece fell on the ground, in a sense of cover the ground, and it rooted here, and then a tree popped up. So that's probably the origin of this tree. And I dug it up about a year or so ago and put it in a pot. So this is my guess is about a 15-year-old tree based on the trunk size. So what I did is today is that this is my first cut. So I kind of like cut off a lot of the redundant branches so I can see where I'm going with it, then go from there. You can see I tried to make this skinny one into an apex. That doesn't seem rhyme very well, but in a year, this branch will be probably about this thick, and in 3 years, it will be about this thick. It'll be will rhyme with this branch. So it's okay. You have to be a little bit creative, not be bound by the size of the trunk, the branch, to decide on where the apex is. That gives you a lot more flexibility. So you can see this tree basically is coming up and then blown by the wind, a little slanted. I think it look okay. Right now it doesn't look like much because I cut it back to shape so that the energy will go into the right branches for the design. And I'll let it grow. I think in 2 years or 3 years will be quite a respectable tree. And I put it into one to become one of the tree in my big clump of forest of 12 junipers, depicting a member, each one of my member of my family. So with that in mind, then I hope you like this video. Tell a friend about our video channel, and click like if you like my video and it's informative and it's useful to you. And please send us your email address so we can inform you of tree availability. And with that in mind, then I thank you very much and see you next week.